Hey, everybody. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hey.
Guys.
Hey, guys. Hey, hi, everybody. Get on out of that waiting room, folks. It's time to climb on into the elevator. We're going all the way up to the 10th floor. Talk about this week's General Hospital. General Hospital podcast going 6 years. Sixth season. So technically 5 years. Technically, when you're looking at the calendar, it's 5 years. We are in our sixth season now.
It's the beginning of our sixth.
It is, and I know this for sure because I had to pay the server. I had to pay the yearly bill for our server for the audio version of this podcast, which I'm going to
Right.
figure out how to make sure it has like full uploads and not these 3 minute weird chunks. I don't know why my auto uploader sucks, but I'm sorry for those who are experiencing it.
Why is that happening, you think?
I think that we go long. We have a long podcast. It's over an hour long usually, and so I think
Yeah.
what happens is the server like just uploads before YouTube is finished processing.
Oh.
So like the timing is off. Like I don't know if Podbean is like, well, we give it 15 minutes. That should be enough time. But since we're long, it's not enough time for YouTube to truly be ready.
Uh-huh.
And so it uploads just a small chunk
Maybe we
rather
should
than the whole thing.
Bean.
What?
Maybe Podbean ain't the place for us.
I really see. Here's the thing. I've thought about that. There's a couple of things. There's some servers out there. Not to get too technical. Hi, everybody. Hey, it's the weekend before Easter.
It is.
Christina's nuts and cut brake lines, and now really regrets it. Lucky's on her side, sort of. We'll get to it. But from the technical side of podcasting, Podbean's fine. It's inexpensive, and they've been our partners for the entire time.
Mhm.
But they don't have a lot of bells, whistles, and all that sort of stuff, like some other servers do. The main thing is I don't know how to migrate.
Hmm.
They hold our entire library of podcasts. So if anybody wants to listen to every single episode that we have ever done, the only place to find that is through the Podbean website.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify doesn't go back that far, Apple iTunes doesn't go that far, but Podbean still has every single one of them.
Every single one.
So I don't know how to move that to somewhere else.
I see.
I've also done no research. Anyway, it's not us in this elevator, folks. Not just us. It's Chandra's here, Carolyn, Jeannie, Rochelle. Hello, everybody. Kita from Quebec. Hi.
Mm.
How's it going? Billy's here. Billy. Let's see. Who else? Kaiwan. Hello, Kaiwan. Hello, everybody.
Morning, everybody.
Hopefully everybody can see us. Hopefully everybody can hear us.
Hopefully.
Congratulations, Matt and Kat. Oh, they can hear us because we got congratulated for 6 years.
Yes.
Daisy's here.
Was just saying to Matt that I just I it kind of feels like it's been 5 years, but at the same time, but it does feel like it's been 5 years. But I'm just kind of just shocked. I just wouldn't have thought 5 years ago we were going to do this for now going into six
I
seasons.
mean, so when we first started, we were like, "Oh, wouldn't it be neat if one day Vincent Irizarry was like we got him to be on the show one time? Wouldn't that be neat? Wouldn't that be a cap on our podcasting dreams?" And here we are, 5 years later, having gone to the Emmys, having been to Day of Days, like invited to Day of Days in a capacity twice. The
Mhm.
second time they had to rescind the original invite due to spacing issues and whatnot, but
Yes.
we had originally been invited,
Yes.
and just Ken Schreiner and Kathleen Gaddy and all of the people from Days of Our Lives that have been so generous with their time. We've had a lot of success when it comes to actors from Days.
We have.
And just leaps and bounds beyond anything that we dreamed of when it comes to that vein. But for me, what has been the most rewarding part of podcasting, not only is it the weekly conversation I get to have with my mom, but all of the people that we have made friends with essentially here in the chat. The
Yes.
same folks that come and hang out with us week after week talking about General Hospital, feeding us their opinions and history and support or lack thereof of things that we think about the show. And it's been such an experience that I didn't know that I was going to have doing this.
No, we didn't. Not at all, especially in the beginning, because at the beginning we were just audio, so there was no chat to interact with for the first few months.
No. And the first time Keisha showed up, and Chandra and Kelly and all of those folks that have really been with us since the very beginning. Very,
Yes.
very, very beginning. Melissa hasn't been around in a little bit, but she's probably busy. That at work we're boring. One of those two things.
Oh, I sure miss her smart mouth. Where are you?
So thank you to all everybody that comes all the time, and also to our podcasting friends out there, James Lott Jr. and his mini GH Spotlight, and everybody over there on Suds Media, and even Pier 34. It's like the original inspiration for this podcast to begin with. 54. So go check them out.
Yes. And one of the highlights for us was that day where potential Fido was.
Yeah, potentially Fido popping up into the chat.
Yes, that was.
Because he would listen to GH podcasts while working.
Yep.
So that's neat. And he's potentially Fido'd us a couple of times. And so that's been fun.
Yeah.
That's been super fun. So thank you, everybody. That's been our tonight's loyal fans.
Yes.
Really, really do appreciate it. All right, so getting into the show, Mama. Getting into the show. Yes. Something's popped out here in the chat already. That gives me a great launching point. Elevator chit chat. We're gonna gossip on our way up to the 10th floor before we go and look at people in casts wheeling themselves around the hallways to go have intimate conversations with their ex-husbands. We did meet Jeff Kober, Chandra. We did. I was so intimidated the whole time. I don't know why I'm so intimidated by that man, but I am.
Your respect for him as a performer, as an actor is very high.
It's too high. I need to figure out how to calm that down. There's a couple of big topics are already being discussed in chat, but the one I'm going to pick is the lesser of, I think, the two big topics, and her name is Emma Scorpio Drake.
Yeah, Emma. She has great scenes with her grandmother Anna.
The last 2 weeks have really, for me, established exactly why they have brought Emma back onto the show. Mm-hmm. Like, of all of the people, we need to fill out the young cast. Who are we going to bring? What are we going to do? Do we need to invent somebody new? Do we recast somebody old? We recast somebody old, we bring back Emma. Boom. We drop her right into this stuff. Last week into this week sells exactly why we've done that, and it's because of the perspective that the character of Emma has on the rest of the landscape of General Hospital.
And I think she is potentially going to be a great partner for Jocelyn.
So either a great partner or a great foil, because my big question, all right, we got Jocelyn joining the WSB, right?
Yes.
Has Emma been recruited by the DVX already? Is Emma working for the DVX because, as we've seen depicted on General Hospital over the last couple of years, the WSB has not been the James Bond up-and-up agency that it had been depicted in as the past.
No.
And the DVX...
I think when Victor was
he really messed it up.
He messed it up.
Big time. Big time. Planted a lot of things that are just still seedy out there in the WSB today. Now, and then the DVX has been essentially Alex Devane. That's pretty much just been what the DVX is. So they have enough room on the show for them to say, well, the WSB got a little wonky, and the DVX actually, because of recruiting people such as Emma, such as other people who are minded like her, is starting to do things that are bad things, but bad things because it's for the right reason. Not because Victor Cassadine is trying to destroy the world, or because this rich person wants to collect everything, or because they want to be in the arms race and sell nuclear weapons. But no, they're starting to do these things, plant these bombs, put in a senator somewhere, maybe that'll tie into a Drew thing. Something that is a little more like what Emma has been portrayed as. Somebody who constantly gets in trouble for the right thing.
Hmm?
I don't know if I'm spinning too much, but I'm curious.
You're right. I think Emma, her character is a big character now.
Oh, yeah.
She's a big character now. And I think she has more. Yeah, I think there's more to her than what we have seen so far. I wouldn't be surprised if she's recruited in some way, somewhere as well. And I'm I'm kind of on board for her and her grandma to be like, I don't know, Dino Girl and whoever.
Like we were just talking about on the Day of Dummies or Days. Days for Dummies. I don't know my own podcasts.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah,
You
we're
know.
talking about it. Electra Girl and Dinah Woman or whatever. Electra
Yeah.
Woman and Dinah Girl. Ah, Deidre Hall. Come on our show. Chandra thinks that Emma being DBX would be kind of cool. The DBX doing it Robin Hood style. I think there's room because audiences today like ambiguous villainy, bad guys for the right reason, or even a bad guy with a really justifiable reason for being a bad guy. People are into that, and they like that. So let's do it. Let's do it. Because and Emma doesn't necessarily have to be the bad guy, or woman in this case, but we can definitely maybe tell a story of somebody who is in it for truth, justice, and the American way. My name is Jocelyn Jackson. I'm here to arrest you. Versus somebody who is doing things that are outside the law for the right reasons. I just think it might be really fascinating and interesting. I don't know if they'll go there.
It will be. I don't understand. If I were Jocelyn, I wouldn't trust anything that either one of those fellas told me because, you know,
Yeah.
I don't. Vaughn
And Jack?
or what's his bucket? John.
Jack Brennan. Jack
Yeah.
Brennan.
Yeah. I wouldn't, for them to say, well, for Vaughn to say, well, you're a student, that's what you need to know now, and you need to infiltrate and try to become the assistant to the professor, Professor Dalton, right?
Yes. Professor
Right.
Dalton.
And there's already now Emma has a connection as well because that's a class that she's enjoying. She's in that class. Now Jocelyn's going to be in that class. So they're going to be probably competing for some assistant
Yes.
position, right?
Yeah.
Because Jocelyn's been told to,
And Emma wants it.
and Emma wants to. And they have a kind of an antagonistic relationship already, the two of them. So there might be a little competition,
A little academic
weirdness.
rivalry, a little strangeness, a little, why do you want this so bad, Jocelyn? This is so weird, the lengths that you're going to try to edge me out of this thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I underconsidered about the whole Jocelyn joins the WSB story, and I'm like, oh man, they should keep it a secret for a year and all that kind of stuff, and they can still do this, but I absolutely underconsidered old brain damaged Jason and his BS detector.
He has a B. Yeah, he knows already. Jocelyn's full of it.
Already, yes. And I just
Already?
totally underconsidered this man who has just a different lens on just the entire world than everybody else. And his ability to just read Jocelyn, not...
He tricked her quick.
Yeah, he really tested her. Like he didn't trust it to begin with, because something about, oh, you're not tan enough for this. Your hair is still so dark for being out there in the sun. Whatever it might be that made Jason's BS detector go off right away, it did, and I really underconsidered just who Jason is and what it is that he is able to bring to the table.
And also, I think a BS detector for Jason is she is a little Carly Jr. and he knows himself a Carly.
So you just had a good time at Easter Island. You just learned about things. You didn't get involved in nothing. You just went to school. You just had a good time. I don't believe it. All right. Carly would never. So you would never. Oh, well, Daisy says she passed his test, but that doesn't mean he doesn't sniff a little something.
Oh, he sniffs something.
He sniffs a little something. She might have answered all the right questions because of the research that she did, but whatever impact Easter Island had on Jason's soul through its beauty or its tranquility or the sights or the peace or the whatever it is that he experienced through his I love you or I don't lens of life.
Yes.
Whatever Jocelyn answered could have been too textbook. too rehearsed. You
Yeah,
know,
and well,
I've heard people lie through interrogations before.
and her mom kind of went like that a little bit too, because how come you're no on none of the photos?
Exactly. And that might have even been one of the first thing that picked him up, because he's like, you know what? I just did something very similar with another man named John.
Mm-hmm.
Jason asked her about the hiking, but I don't think he was sold on her answer, says Chandra.
No, I don't think so either.
No. Billy hopes that they don't have Joss seduce the professor. I don't know. I don't know if they'll go that direction, but if they do, it will 100% be because Jocelyn has decided she wants to do this. I don't think that they would go the route in just how things are today that Brennan tells her she has to.
I don't think it's going to be creepy old professor either.
No. So if that happens, it's because Jocelyn is trying to edge it out, and it would be her choice. And if it is suggested to her by somebody else, like Brennan or something, then it would be something that she denies doing. I just don't see the landscape of just how TV is done today for them to go there on our daytime TV. Maybe a prime time, but I don't think we would go there on GH.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, but only but if that does happen, it's because Jocelyn sees it as well. This is I'm fully in. This is how I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah,
it's that important. But I don't think we would get there yet.
And you know what? I think Vaughn could catch some feels for her, and if she was thinking about doing that, he would stop her.
No, you don't have to go that far, Jocelyn.
Something like that.
There's some things that you just don't need to surrender for truth, justice, in the American way. Jocelyn has always been more school than play. Well, she can run out of school real quick. She is. Let's see. I'm happy Daniel is on. Watched him on Young and the Restless. Who's Daniel?
I guess is
that the professor?
Is that playing Vaughn?
I'm happy for Daniel Goddard also, says David. So is that Vaughn or is that Professor?
Yeah, because I'm not sure.
No, we got to catch up. It always takes us a couple of weeks, couple of months to catch up with the actors, the new actors' names, unless they really like hit it or they have an interesting one, like Sawandi Wilson. Like I know that one.
Yeah, or if we like, we've seen them on something else before, and that's not the case.
Cynthia Watros, what? I've been watching you for years. What are you doing on my show?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited at that casting.
Cynthia Watros.
He's the professor. Daniel Goddard is the professor.
Oh, you'll see him next week.
Yes. All right. The professor is an Aussie, like Jolce's dad, says Aisha. He's from Australia. Oh, so your father's from Australia too, is he? What's he like to do? Surfing?
Well, that will make Emma like him even more.
What? Because of Grandpa.
Because of Grandpa and the didgeridoo.
Yes. Now, oh my goodness gracious! Now
and Jocelyn might like him because of that, because of her dad, or she might mistreat him. Not mistreat, she may not trust him.
Because he's actually Jerry Jacks. Because everybody with an accent is Jerry Jacks. Oh, Joss too. I guess Joss is. Yeah, I mean Joss is Australian. She just doesn't have the accent. She's half Australian. We can't take that away from her.
No, she's half Australian, but she was born here in the States, so she doesn't have. And
she did spend a number of years living with Daddy in Australia, didn't she?
Yeah,
after the corn and then before Eden McCoy.
Yes, they sent her off for a little while. They did because I believe that Jack's got custody of her or something.
Well, I don't know what it is about General Hospital and their love for Australian actors, because it's been the case for 30, 40 years. They love themselves an Australian actor.
Or at least somebody that can come up with a really good Australian accent.
You know, because from the Scorpios, and then Max started off with one, and then didn't maintain it. And he just said, "I'm just going to sound like me now. All right, I'm not doing this Australian thing
every
anymore."
Once in a while, John Yorks will throw in one word that he has an accent.
Just cuz,
or once in a while, but no, he speaks like with an American accent now. And in the beginning, you're right, he sounded like an Aussie.
Well, because he was putting on that accent. So that's something that we misunderstood from before. He's not from Australia himself. He put it on. and then took it off.
The same thing with well, he puts that accent on.
But even then, we got Ethan. Ethan, he's Aussie too, isn't he?
No, English. No, he's English.
Is he
like
English?
His mother.
He's English.
English like his mother.
Well, regardless.
And what is her nickname? English. That's what Luke used to call her.
Well, yes. But everybody wanted Robert to be his dad so much, so I just thought he had the Australian one. He had the worst accent, says Daisy. I'm sure she's talking about Mac. It wasn't great. Oh, Robert, what are you doing here?
Exactly.
Okay, John. All right, John Jay. We should have auditioned you with the accent.
Who was that Dundee dude? The
Crocodile Dundee?
yes.
This is a knife. So, all right, but most recently, Brennan and stuff, and they still love Australian actors. I can't name them all, but goodness gracious, General Hospital's just full of them.
Yeah, they do love that accent.
In any case, all of that to say, yes, 100%. Make him an Australian actor. Maybe that's just because he's Australian, or it's because it's planned. It's plotted. It is a connection for Jocelyn to have.
Maybe they're missing the fact that Brennan doesn't have an accent anymore, so they're bringing another fool in.
So they're just bringing another dude in. It just happened to be this way. No,
exactly.
But if we're going for smart, if we're going for planned, if we're going for interesting plot, which the show never wants, I'm kidding. Then they could. I think I agree with what some of the chat is saying here. It's an opportunity for them to have that be fuel for Jocelyn's trying to get his attention for this TA gig. It's just so low. It's such an interesting low level assignment. Obviously they're not going to throw her in there to go disarm a bomb in Tahiti, right? Like that's something for a more seasoned agent to do. But it's just
unless she just happens to be there,
right? But it's such a low impact, low danger, low level mission to be on. Go be the TA so you can spy on this thing.
But it's gonna grow. The task is going to grow. Now, this is what if I were her, that I would be having a really hard time with. This is your assignment, but you don't really know what the assignment is. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are not trustworthy enough, especially that Jack Brennan, to be able to say, "I'm just going to blindly do what you say."
You're missing the 3 weeks of spy school she went to, where they indoctrinated her to listen to her orders.
Yeah, well, just doesn't seem.
Do you think she's
a Spencer woman thing to do?
Sometimes, I don't know. Maybe she will question it.
Path, but then you deviate off of it right away.
I mean, it's entirely possible that she will deviate in 2 minutes.
Because your Spencer Spidey senses will go on.
Yes, I think that it would be a really awkward story to tell that Jocelyn's been recruited into the WSB, and 2 minutes into her first mission, she's like, "You, Jack." I just don't think that would be narratively satisfying.
It wouldn't. But you know what is going to happen eventually, and it may be a long time from now, or maybe a short time from now. Carly is going to find out about Jack manipulating her daughter.
Oh, definitely. That'll be we got to wait a second that we can because that's got to be a Jack exit story.
Yeah. Or at least the Jack Carly not going to bed anymore story.
Yeah. Or just, Jack's good. I don't unfortunately, I just don't see Chris McKenna's Jack Brennan as long-term as Charles Measures. Because I can see this whole thing is over, and I can see him going away and then and not needing anything else from Jack Brennan. Mm-hmm. Especially if they want to bring a Valentine or something back in.
Yeah.
And
you were speaking of her. We spoke of it last hour that Laura Wright is doing something today, right?
I think it's today in Connecticut. Maybe today, maybe yesterday, maybe soon, maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
And JPS is going to be there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I hope they do a duet.
It's going to be, JPS is going to be there.
Hello, Tyrone.
Right. Along with Laura Wright and Finola, right?
Can they bring Valentine in for the nurses' ball just in a Steinmauer outfit and just to sing? You
I
know,
don't see why not.
I need a bluesy something from old JPS.
But he's hiding right now, though.
No, he's in jail now.
Oh, that's right. He is in jail.
Yeah,
That's right. He's in
yeah,
jail. He's in jail.
yeah. He gave up his freedom for little Miss Charlotte and for Anna.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
that way
Yes,
nobody's gonna
he
come
did.
after you. I'm in jail now.
Maybe he and Nicholas will get out of jail together.
Oh, just at the same time.
And then they can go to the island and kick old Jens right in the crotch. Get
J-
out of there.
It's so funny sometimes, Mom, because you call Sidwell Jens, right? Because that's not how he's referred to majorly on the show. They call him Sidwell for the most part, and that always makes me laugh when you call the character the name that they're not called uh, on the show. Same thing with Dexter. Like Dexter, like that was never even established that was his
I give
name.
people names, don't I?
Yeah, like Dexter always made me laugh because he literally could have just been named Dex. It was never established that he was anything other than just Dex. But
Even
in
when,
your mind and in your heart, that was Dexter.
even when I met Evan, I called him Dexter. Hey, Dexter. You kind of looked at me, Dexter? Yep, that's what I've decided.
Lulu hasn't been with Charlotte since, says Chandra. And you know what, Chandra? It's just those off-screen moments. Remember when she was arguing with Dante and she's like, every waking moment I'm not at work, I'm hanging out with Rocco.
Yeah.
So,
When?
we just have to assume that when,
Yeah,
she's not bickering with somebody,
we have
she's
to
saying,
assume those off-camera moments, okay? Just like we have to assume that Monica's upstairs playing with all them kids.
well, I don't know if she's playing so hard right now because people are now actively going upstairs to check on her.
Yes, they are.
That is now the language they're using. I'm going to go upstairs to check on Monica.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, we're slowly getting there.
I think it would be pretty impactful for Jason to find her passed away.
I don't know, because it's so funny because anytime we think about, like, the Quartermaines, we always want to make Jason the middle of it. And Jason does not want to be the middle of the Quartermaines in any way, shape, or form. But the audience really wants it.
Well, yeah, and we saw this week too, he's not all that thrilled about still living in the house, but at the same time, he ain't packing.
No, he's still got to hang out with Danny.
Gonna hang out
Drew
with him.
didn't rip Danny from that house. Danny's still there. Just
Danny's still there.
Rocco's still there. No scalp, but that's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. I mean, they still got bro time. That little girl just spilled paints and stuff all the time. She was kind of in the way.
He's always crying.
Just whining about something, and then it's always trying to inspire us to like get along. And it wasn't for us. So we're kind of happy she's gone. Bash Brothers. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still waiting for those big Danny episodes that are coming up.
Yeah, well, I don't think Sasha's going to move out of the house. She keeps on talking like she is, and she's saying like
She's gonna move in with Nina. Come on.
The independence I'm really like I've tooted my horn about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
She's kind of feeling like I really should move out of the house because I've been talking how much I want my independence and how much I don't want to be underneath the thumb of the Quartermaines. I want to raise this child alone.
Well, what is she going to do? Drive to work to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then go home, go to bed, and then drive to work to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner? It would make most sense for her to stay in that home.
She needs to stay there, exactly.
Plus, like she needs to rekindle a friendship with Cody. Okay? We don't need Cody and Lulu hanging out, all right? We don't need that.
Right.
All right?
Yeah, they need to bond as cousins.
Yeah, and stuff. And I still want Cody to have value in a place somewhere.
I do too. But who another woman that's on that property doesn't want to see Lulu have any kind of happiness?
Brooklyn. BLQ herself.
BLQ don't want her down there at the stables chumming up with Cody.
It's funny because no, not at all. It's funny because Brooklyn, Brooklyn and Chase, they're married. Mm-hmm. And I just had this assumption about Chase's role in it, that he would be less supportive in some capacity, more hurt by it all. And it's just turned him into like super husband. Like to a point where I don't think even finding out that it's Gio is going to make him change his mind.
And I wouldn't be surprised with some
Hi, Miss DJ.
dating. when I'm investigating, I wouldn't be surprised that Chase is not the one that figures it out, that
It's
Gio
true.
is the son.
Because like this week's advice was like, you need to find a way to get over it if you want it to stay a secret. Because anytime you look at your mom, the whole house explodes with how much you're mad at her over something that you're not talking about. So you got
Exactly.
to fix that.
And
And
everybody feels it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Even though there's not too many words, everybody feels it.
You got to find a way to forgive her. Well, I can't forgive her until I find out where my son was stuck. All right, then I'm going to find out for you, Brooklyn, so you can move on.
Exactly.
Yes, I like
I
it.
would
Hello,
I-
Lola's mom.
Chase finds out, and then he's gonna have an inner turmoil of what to do with the information.
What do I do? I know so much about Gio and how much he loved the life he had growing up.
Hmm.
Do I tell Brooklyn? Do I keep it a secret? Oh man. What do I do? If only I had Austin Gatlin Holt here to give me some advice.
Ah,
You
maybe
know,
he'll. Who knows?
they were partners in codicil crime. You know,
Hmm.
he's got to lean on Austin for those dark decisions. Chase loves his wife, says David, and I agree with you entirely, David. I think that he shows it each and every week, and it's a great example for everybody out there.
Hmm.
If you want to be a great husband, follow the model of one Mr. Harrison Chase, who understands, because of the loss of his father, what it's like to be close to somebody and have a gap that you wish you can bring
Yes.
back.
Yes. Actually, his character, he reminds me of Gregory a lot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the,
Mm-hmm.
his goodness, his
Yeah.
own personal, you know, requirement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, remember when Finn was his dad for a minute? Remember when the show did that for no reason?
Yes, I
Oh my
do. And
gosh.
it was so creepy. And
It's
we were
funny.
so
Oh my
romantic.
gosh, that reminds me because Sarah Joy Brown, she's on Twitter and she talking a lot on the Twitter and just responding to stuff and talking about her life and her time on VR Troopers as a kid and General Hospital playing Carly and playing Claudia and all that kind of stuff. And somebody asked her, "Hey, what'd you think about the revelation that Claudia was actually the mom of the brother? What was his name?
Johnny.
Johnny." And she's like,
Yeah.
she was like, "I'm glad I wasn't on the show for that." In my heart, he's always going to be my little brother Johnny and not my son Johnny. She
Right.
wasn't happy with that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought it was, at the time, I thought it was Creepster because it almost like rewrote history because
hmm
suddenly they're much further apart in age,
Suddenly,
it seemed like.
yeah. Oh gosh, oh gosh, Claudia.
You know what scenes I really love? I
Hmm.
love the scenes of Alexis and Diane in the office together.
You think that they're good lawyering together?
I think they're good lawyerty, and I like the set. I like the
It's a
two
nice
of them
little set, isn't
together.
it? I like
And I
how it.
like that they have their desks are facing each other.
Uh huh.
You
Yeah,
know,
it totally seems like a collaborative space.
I like
I don't. I find it alarming to a degree that Alexis sits with her back to the door, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that,
I wouldn't
especially
do that, especially if you're not going to look to see who just walked in. Because they
right.
did that. Where she's like, come in. And it was Ava. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
why are you working with your back to the door? Because I would think that the desks would be positioned so nobody had their back to the door.
yeah, they should be turned 180.
Turned when exactly. I know it's a strange thing to have focused on, but it is something that I thought about when Ava knocked on that door and walked in. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh hey, Alexis, why are you like?
Well,
I know my back is to the door, but I can still see it.
when that's not the entrance to your home either.
No, it's the bedroom.
You know what I mean?
And even then, this is just my podcasting position or my
Hmm.
typing position.
Hmm.
My
Just like
novel crafting position. One day, folks, one day. It might be another 50 years, but one day.
and just like these double doors behind me are
Hmm.
not the entrance to my home.
Exactly. All type of privacy violations. No screen protector either, says Chandra. So people could just peer right into what it is Alexis is working on. Briefs,
That's true.
subpoenas,
That's true, huh?
open and closing
But
arguments.
does not Ava have her right where she wants her?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I really enjoyed I because I enjoy General Hospital and I enjoy the show, and so I enjoy it week after week. But I liked Rick and I'm so relieved, Ma. Let me just start with that. I am so relieved that Rick is not dead or being carted off the show.
Me too. I
Because
didn't want Rick to be dead either.
I don't know if it's the show masterminding, manipulating their audience into thinking, okay, well, this is it for Rick, because why wouldn't it be? And then making it not. So there would be that chatter and that talk online about, what are you doing with Rick? Great. Great if it was,
Yes.
because that's mastercraft television.
Yes, I wouldn't have been surprised, not one iota, if Rick would have died.
Exactly. Or it had been, I need to go and recover away.
Right.
Or even, hey, this happened. Peace out, Port Charles.
Yeah,
Something that took him off the show. But it's not. It actually has reinforced his position on the show.
exactly. He could have easily went, oh, same shite, different day.
Yeah. So I am super happy that Rick Lansing is seemingly still around, unless this is another red herring and he's going to be gone in 2 weeks, and I don't want that. Anyway, but him and Ava piecing it together, the little bits of memory he has, the logic of
yes.
Ava thing, the pattern of unstable behavior that Christina has shown them, the threats that she has made, all of this boiling down into, why would your brakes suddenly stop working?
Yeah. And Christina thought I parked in your spot.
She just said this to me. Your car was there. Suddenly your brakes don't work. We can't prove it with evidence.
Right.
But
And he does recall seeing her at the accident site.
yes, in his foggy Swiss cheese memory. But he remembers seeing her staring worriedly toward the accident. I enjoyed the sequence of them putting it together. I liked their I liked their and then like just the building of the energy behind them being like, oh yeah, this is it.
Exactly. And then they come to the conclusion, indeed, this is what really happened.
And now Ava's going over to Alexis's place and just pushing the button in the elevator, going up to the 4th floor. Don't tell me what to say. Don't tell me what to do. I'm coming after your daughter.
Coming after your daughter. And you know what will save your daughter? Some Cassadine dollars.
Some Cassadine dollars. So if you give me money, your daughter is going to be okay. And if you don't give me dollars, then I think that they might have a room for her over in the loony bin.
Yeah, and I tell you, she really has Alexis right there. She does.
Got her by the ovaries, as they say.
Yep.
Got her right
By the ovaries. Absolutely. And I think it won't work forever and won't last forever. But I do think Alexis is going to wind up giving her some money.
Oh, she gonna get some Cassadine money, and then Nicholas is gonna be like, "Why'd you give Ava some of my money?"
Exactly.
Or Sidwell, or whoever it is that unlocked the Cassadine funds to begin with. I mean, the show has been so smart when it comes to its interconnectedness and when it comes to the logical progression of stories. Recently, that everything leads into the next thing. Like, nothing is really wasted when it comes to a revelation nowadays.
Yeah.
So, that would totally lead into what's going on with the Cassadine estate now that some of the money has been given back to Ava. It was taken away from Ava to begin with, but Alexis gave it back. That'll catch the attention of someone.
Yeah, and we got to find out what Jen Sidwell is connected to the Cassadines.
Exactly.
He knows too much.
Yeah.
And he purposely wanted to live on Spoon Island. He didn't want to live anywhere else.
No, it's a great view of Port Charles.
Yeah. I can watch things blow up from my comforts of my
I can
own
see
parapet.
my son infiltrate your law firm, Alexis.
Oh, I'm interested in seeing the first scene between Jen Sidwell and Marco, and what kind of relationship do they have? Are they like, are
They're
they
in
twirling
cahoots.
their mustaches together?
Oh yeah, they're in cahoots. And I think we're supposed to take that Marco and Blaze are half siblings.
Yes, that is totally the impression I got this week
Yeah.
with the conversation of Natalia. It's that Blaze has a different father.
Than Sidwell.
Yes, and I guess either Eloy should just disappear from our memories.
Or he's just that third kid out there,
He's
like
just their
Luke and
third kid.
Bobby's sister that we didn't meet until 50 years later.
Exactly.
No, I'm into it. I'm into it. And with Jacqueline Grace Lopez showing up to be a part of the Tabiana Ali Jens Austin Astrup event, I wonder if I don't know, because not that she necessarily fits in that age group necessarily, because they already established her as in like the Michael, Chase, Sasha, or Willow age group. It's just interesting that she's a part of it.
Well, yeah, like if she were going to be, if she were just going to be at like the kickoff party or something like that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think there was an emphasis her being back on the show. But since they're putting her with on a panel, it makes me think that she's going to be back
I
on
mean,
the
it's
show.
it's less of a because it's like them, and then and also, so it's like I don't know if she's like necessarily emceeing it, or maybe the one that's asking the questions, but also it's just interesting
Hmm.
because I've never been to the GH fan club event, so I don't really know what the structure is like.
Hmm.
I don't know if you got Michael Fairman up there asking questions like the convention.
Right.
So I don't know, and if there is people up there asking questions, GH fan club, hi.
Like Crazy Heather to show up at that thing.
Oh gosh, I don't know if she will, but she might.
Hmm.
Maybe she'll show up for the nurses' ball.
Oh, wouldn't that be
Allie
cool?
Mills just
Wouldn't
out
it
there
be
on the
cool
stage.
for Nell to show up at the nurses' ball?
What? I mean, so we've mentioned Nell enough times over the last couple of months, I think, for us to dig up her grave.
Exactly.
And she was at that party
Exactly.
too, Ma. She was at that Frank Valentini party.
She was because her and Josh Kelly are an item.
Yeah, they're dating. They're dating.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Hmm.
Good for them. And if
Oh, I'm all, but and the fact that Carly, when she was fighting with Willow, which was excellent, she mentioned her.
I know. I did. So
Like,
we can get into that because it was a big topic of discussion out there in the GH fandom after the scene went down because of some of the things that Carly had to say to Willow, especially over the fact that Wiley ain't even hers. All right, she's not even really yours. Okay. How dare you say all these things and take him from his real dad? It really belongs to Nell, you piece of crap. Yeah, yeah. Well, what's your reaction to that? As someone who raised a child who had a father that was not really his, throwing
mhm.
that back into Willow's face, what do you think? How do you feel?
Well, this was interesting to me. Oh, Carly's, you light a match to Carly, you want to get fired.
That's true, 100%.
Get fired. Um, this is what I love. This one of the things I loved about it. Because of the position Nina is in, she has a big old secret of her own.
Mm-hmm.
She really, really couldn't come huge to the defense of her own daughter with Carly.
Mm-mm.
You would have thought in the old, Nina would have come out blazing
Mm-hmm.
at Carly, and it
Mm-hmm.
would have been Carly over here standing alone. It'd have been those two over here. And Nina didn't jump up like that.
That's because
She
Willow
really couldn't.
deserves it.
She really couldn't. She really couldn't. For one thing, she disagrees with what Willow's doing,
Mm-hmm.
but man, that's different though, right? Her and Carly usually, and any other time,
Mm-hmm.
if Carly would have come after her daughter like that, Nina would have been right there protecting and posturing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but not.
She really couldn't.
She couldn't because she knows that Willow's making these terrible choices. And while what Carly said was very charged, and here's what it boils down to: Carly was saying that stuff to hurt Willow, not because she believes it.
Yeah.
Not because she believes it. If you were to ask her, not in that moment,
Hmm.
who's Wiley's mom,
Hmm.
she would say Willow 99.9% of the time.
If she, um, one thing that she could have said, and it'd have been like, "Ooh boy," something like, "You're as stupid as Donna Days, aren't you?"
Yeah, it's just something.
Yeah.
She was just
Now it's Day of
being.
Drew. Day of Drew now.
That's just pandering to the Twitter audience. Drew was just a new Shiloh to you, isn't he?
Well, it's something, but to say you're so stupid, you're Donna Day stupid.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Something like that.
Yeah. Just something hurtful. That's what she was. That's what she was doing. She was just saying something hurtful, not necessarily something that she truly believed. Yeah. So I think that's what it boils down to, and it's because of that. It's because Carly got struck. Somebody hit Carly. You lit the Carly match, and so now Carly came out because that's who she is when she has these conflicts and these confrontations.
And this would have been another good one too, is to say something like, and Nina would have been, you're just like your mother, but it's not this one. Harmony.
That one requires too much thinking. We can't rely on the audience to think.
Oh, well, can't rely on Mom and Cat to think either, so there you
go. You're acting just like Harmony. You're worse than Nell. Just throwing everything at Willow.
Yeah,
all of that stuff. Hello, East Coaster. That would be cool. That would be cool. We'll see where it can go, because now Willow's getting the ire of Carly and not Nina. There's a new direction for the hatred of Carly. Not even hatred, but just the explosive anger. So.
And what did you think about Jason's entrance into the scene to catch Carly's hand?
I think that there was another scene that it was compared to where he had to scoop her up from going after Nina. Like he had to drag her across the set to keep her from doing that. And so it's just like mother like daughter. Jason trying to save the day.
Yep.
Michael ain't Sonny's. It's true, Daisy.
Yeah.
It's true. That's why she said something that was hurtful, but that she didn't actually truly believe.
And Jason shows up. He doesn't show up to fight. He shows up to protect Carly from herself.
Yeah. I don't need you going to jail for assault, because she would send you to jail right now. This person would.
And and he and Drew actually were on the same page for a second. When Drew said, "Get her out of there, get her out of here." And what was that Jason there for? He was there to
get her out of there. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, getting her out of there for a couple of different reasons. But ultimately, the goal was the same. It's because Nina texted Jason. Yes, indeed. Nina let Jason know so he could come. The power of Jason over Carly's life is something that they are making sure that the audience has been reminded of this week. Not only from him coming in to stop her from her worst choices, but also Jocelyn making sure that Jason stays in the room, because while Jason's there, Carly cannot lie to me about what's going on with Brennan. She can't bring herself to lie to me about it because you are here. She wouldn't do that in front of you, Jason, so you got to stick around. And he did the classic Steve Burton favorite scene, where he just gets to stand in the back.
With his arms folded?
They pay me for this.
Steve Burton, though, I love all those words they give you now. I love it. I like it that, he's not as stoic as he used to be.
No. I mean, you're paying this man a lot of money. Give him some words to say.
Exactly. Give him some patience.
Pay him a lot of money. You got to get him to talk.
Make him work. Make him memorize something.
100%. So all that to say, I think that M is in the DVX. No, it's oh gosh, it's good stuff. What else is there to talk about?
And what did you think? What did you think of this? Where Jack gets up from out of his seat at the Metro Court, goes over to Jen Sidwell just to threaten him.
The tension is getting high, isn't it?
Isn't
we're approaching, and we're approaching the nurse's ball. Okay, here's the thing: Sidwell's underwriting this whole thing. Brennan's threatening him. Sonny's breaking up with Natalia because he finds out that she had been with him and never said anything and had plenty of opportunity to. And was it a breakup? I don't know. It's not like they were really, really together.
It wasn't like they were together. It's just what I got out of it was, you've lost my friendship.
We're not gonna hang out no more. All right, I don't want you coming around Pazzulos any longer.
Exactly.
Please don't do that.
And you know what? Natalia got kind of broken about that. It made her a little sad that she lost her sunnyhood.
She likes herself a little sunny.
Yeah, she would like.
I like a little sunny on the side, please.
Sunny side up.
Oh my goodness gracious! Sunny side down. Hey, oh, ha, ha.
But I like that little threat, though.
Yeah.
That little Jack Brennan threat
The
there.
Jack Brennan threat.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, that's good stuff, and it keeps the fact that Brennan is still WSB person, like supposed to be nabbing the bad guys. It
Right,
reminds us of that because we've gotten a lot of Jack villainy, Jack manipulations. What is he really doing? Valentine saying, "Oh, he is the WSB." All of that stuff suggesting all of the bad stuff that
right.
Brennan's been up to. It's good to remind us that he's also supposed to be there to catch the bad guys.
Yes, he's supposed to be there. And he has done what the number one thing you don't do. And Bond's been telling Jocelyn this over and over. Your old life is over.
Your old life is over. Don't
So,
look back. Don't
intimate,
look back.
intimate, intimate relationships are not something for your future.
Don't do
Now,
it.
but isn't Jack doing that? Is he going against the code?
I
He's
mean, I
getting
don't.
invested.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a code and more just like advice from someone who's like, listen, don't do that.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. But Brennan, we have to take him at his word, I think, when he's alone in the room with Carly,
Hmm.
where she's poisoned and recovered, and he's leaning over her being like, this is real for me, all right? I feel for you things that I had never felt anywhere in my life before.
Hmm.
So I think we should take him at his word for that and say that even if, maybe there was a code before about not doing it, it's just his powerful attraction and admiration for Carly has overridden that
Well,
for him.
maybe, huh? I tell you, when Carly has her sights on a gentleman, she usually gets his attention.
Can the women of deception, asks East Coaster, can the women of deception fire Natalia for not disclosing Sidwell as her ex-husband? That's an interesting question because to me it weighs on two things. Number one is the right to privacy, a
Right.
lack of discrimination, that sort of stuff. I'm not supposed to. My employment should not be measured by who I'm married to, the choices I've made outside in my life that weren't criminal. The
Well, it initiates mistrust right away, just like Sonny said. How am I supposed to know that you're not?
the other side of it is less privacy and more conflict of interest.
Hmm.
You are a high executive in our company. We're issuing a high executive deal with this specific man. You have a prior connection to him that you didn't disclose with us. You pushed for us to go ahead and sign for this thing anyway. Do you have some sort of conflicted investment in the success of your ex-husband that is somehow going to shower upon you? Which I think might be more the case than a privacy issue. So, on the grounds of that East Coaster, I would say, without a law degree or 1 minute of law school, that yes, they have grounds for termination.
I would think so. Yeah.
The Drew and Nina secret might come out of the nurse's ball. Daisy, I do feel as though the nurse's ball is going to be grounds for all kinds of cool stuff.
All kinds of cool stuff is gonna pop off at the nurse's ball.
And even like they'll do like a little masked singer thing, where somebody shows up in a full costume. They do a little song and dance. They reveal who themselves are at the end, and it's Nell Benson.
Fun.
Just for you, Daisy, because I know you want her back. She doesn't. She doesn't. Legally, they can't do that, says Chandra, because Chandra knows she's a job-seeking Jedi Master. If
Yeah,
you
she
yourself need employment and want a little bit of advice on how to spruce up that resume or make it happen, reach out to Coach Chandra. However, there should have been like a conflict of interest vetting type of situation, like a little more research into this major financial contributor, a background check, something to see what might have been in his life. I'm adding to what Chandra said at this point, but something that would have pointed to a previous relationship with Natalia, which would have been legally recorded somewhere, having been married, unless they were married in like France.
Well,
But I
that's
don't.
how someone found out about the connection as it was. They did
Oh,
a
there
little
you go.
research on Natalia.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Folks, I got great news for you. In a couple of weeks, my background's going to change because I won't be here anymore. I'll still be in Los Angeles. I'm actually not going to be that far. But I am going to be vacating the studio and moving into a different one.
Yes.
So that's been really
Yay!
distracting over the last couple of weeks. So I apologize for missing beats and hits and moments of connections throughout the show over the last couple of weeks. I know I haven't been as on it. That's because a lot of focus has been put on to preparing for
Matthew
that.
has found a new home to move to. Yay!
Yay! So that's what's happening in my life, folks. It's a good thing.
And he
So
gets to stay in LA.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, so all of that to say, thank you for all of your support, and not your financial contributions, because none of that went to a home hunt.
No,
None of it did.
no.
But being able to hang out with you guys every Sunday is real cool. By the way, we're probably not going to be on at all next week. We're probably going to take one of those very rare 10th floor breaks.
Yeah, we're going to take a rare 10th floor break.
You know,
Yes,
I don't see the point in trying to cram a Saturday in there. I think we could just not.
we can just skip a week.
Yeah.
I just, especially now that we're doing 3 shows, it's just, I just want to have Easter.
Yeah, I hear that. So I
That is
think, yeah,
all.
that's what's going to happen. So chat, give us some inspiration. Give us a topic that we have not yet discussed this week. Whether it's Christina, well, we talked about her. We didn't talk about Lucky in his conversation or anything like that. But let us know the last thing you want us to talk about here. We'll get into that topic before resting our voices as we try to find out what the gate code is this week to talk about Beyond the Gates.
Yeah.
Yes. And by the way, folks, if you're watching that show, come hang out with us on Beyond the Gates podcast. I would love for you guys to come and enjoy that just as much as you do Days for Dummies, as well as 10th Floor Podcast. We're doing that. Jordan and Lara.
Jordan and Laura. Well, yeah, they've hatched a plan together, haven't
They
they?
have hatched a plan,
They're going to have a falling out.
as they don't see eye to eye with the conclusion of this plan. Now it's good because they do run in same circles. Okay, from the connection that is Isaiah and Lucky. And they've reminded us, they've said through dialogue, Isaiah, I think even himself recently has referred to Lucky as my best friend. So there's the connection there, bringing these two ladies, bringing their worlds together, potential conflict, potential success, but all aimed at Drew,
Yes.
Sidwell. All of those people kind of wrapped up in that highfalutin, using my money for this, using my influence for that, just positioning of the baddies. And I say Drew and Sidwell because it's only a matter of time.
Oh, sure.
It's only a matter of time
Yeah.
before
These
Sidwell
baddies.
has something that Drew needs to make both of their plans happen.
Uh-huh. Exactly. And Sidwell has more of a, when it comes to like wanting to move the project, Sidwell just wants to stick it to Sonny so bad.
He sure does. He really
That's all,
wants.
that's his motivation for wanting to change the location to the other peers. It's just for Sonny.
Because I want to take Sonny's peers away from him. That's 1,000% the only reason why. So they're going to have to work together to be able to uncover all that badness that there is. I am so excited for Jordan in this story because I really feel so long as they don't underutilize her, it's a great door open to see how it feels to have Tanisha Harper as Jordan play a particular something in a particular way, to just see what it feels like. They gave it to Taj Bello recently. They gave him a moment to see what it was like, to see what it felt like. He was a little underutilized. If they utilized him more, Taj probably would have hit the Melman a little better. But they gave him a moment to see what door could open. And I think we're getting something similar when it comes to Jordan. Not to test her, not to give her a grade, pass, fail, pass an A, D plus, nothing like that. But to just see how it feels. They did it with Sasha. And Sasha became a damn lead because of it.
And I tell you, I think Tanisha's hitting it out of the park so far.
I really think so too. I really think that it's tough because I did like Taj Bello in the little bit that they had him do. But sincerely, like separating her out from being the mom as well,
Yes.
I think has just really reframed Jordan in a very useful way.
I think so too. And I think her and Isaiah have good chemistry. The two actors have
Oh,
great chemistry.
absolutely.
They jump off the screen together.
Hmm.
They are quite good. And I'm looking forward to, Isaiah he's got some shadows behind him we don't know about.
Yeah, they're gonna come out, especially as we get into the action part, because we're settling everything. We're laying out the chessboard, and then when Jordan and Isaiah have to sneak through the darkened halls of the nurses' ball to stop Sidwell from making his nefarious deal in the back room with Miss Wu or whatever it is,
Mm.
then we're really gonna learn more and see what it is that Isaiah is capable of,
And
or a
I,
secret that he's had in the past.
I think the public falling out that Laura and Jordan will be really good,
And maybe Jordan
really
and
believable.
maybe Jordan will become the mayor.
Maybe. They're going to have
Oh,
a public falling out. That's their plan.
yes, yes, yes. Just the most public falling out, and then it'll lead into a real falling out.
Maybe. And Laura went and kind of warned Sonny. Hey, this is going to happen. Kind of gave him a heads up.
No, not more stress. My heart can't take it, Laura. You don't understand. I've been putting off a surgery. Sandra wants to know, will Chad Duell return, or are they recasting? Rumor has it, folks, and I don't know for sure, I'm not back there, don't come here for the news, that they have picked a new Michael, and it's not Chad Duell.
Yeah, I haven't heard, but I would be surprised if Chad Duell returned, because I think the whole burning of Michael was a story to
Change his face.
to change his face and to facilitate the change in the actor. That was the reason for burning him in the first place.
So, yeah, they changed it. I don't come here for the news because I don't know if it's true or not, but there's heavy speculation out there from people who are in the know that they have recast Michael with somebody who's been on soap operas before. I don't remember the person's name, but if you visit a social media site out there, especially the Twitter Twitter
Probably
world,
not
you'll run
the
into
guy,
it.
not the
It's
guy,
not the guy.
not
It's
the
not.
guy that was coming over and playing Michael for a day.
No, it's not. It's not the
Not
temp recast
Noah
dude.
from Young and the Restless.
No, it's not. It's not Noah from Young and the Restless. No, he didn't get burned in the face, says Jeannie. I think he was meant to, like. The budget is here, I think, when it comes to that. What they had, what I recall, at least, Jeannie, and maybe I'm wrong. I might be. But what I recall, when I had more time to watch with a little more focus, when I wasn't looking for a home, was there was a lot of like anti-burn grease that they had like kind of put on Chad's face,
Yes.
like
Yes.
like a
He
salve.
was shining. He was
He
shining.
was very shiny, like they had covered his burns in this salve to help.
Salve kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, to help it not blister and try to reduce the immediate damage. So I think what they were going for was to show that he had been burned, but we don't have the budget to make it look convincing. So this is what we did to kind of sell that. That's how I think. That's how I feel. I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's just what I think, Jeannie. That's just what I think.
Yep. I do think that Michael will return and he will he will look different.
Didn't they just pay to use Chad's picture? They did.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely did. And because I would say that was less because of Chad and more because of Craig or whatever, Daniel, Brian, whatever his name is. Daniel Craig. Not Daniel Craig.
He might be coming back on canvas too. I'd be happy for that too.
I think that was General Hospital's. You know how Willow recognized the half-heart necklace for a second?
Yes.
I think that might be GH's first seed plant as for a Morgan return. So I think that picture had to do more with Morgan than Michael, but also at the same time, if you wanted to show Michael as it stands right now in this moment in time, you have to show Chad Duell because he has not been established with a new face yet. And it would be really strange to see this picture of this man that used to be on another soap opera standing next to Morgan, and you're like, well, who's Morgan standing next to? Like, the audience wouldn't put together that this was supposed to be Michael.
Exactly. And I think another reason why they used that dual photo of the two boys is they wanted to hit home. There's a double loss there. There's two sons gone.
Two sons.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel. That's what I think. I don't know. Maurice has one of the former Michaels on his show. Yes, he's got that Garrett guy. He's on State of Mind, Michael 2.
Yeah, he only played Michael for about a year, right?
Yeah. Michael number 2, though.
Yeah,
The
actually,
one that was after the redheaded kid.
exactly. And I always refer to him to the Michael that clubbed Claudia.
Yes, the Michael that took Claudia out. That was also another Sarah Joy Brown decision. She saw the direction of the character and said, "You know what, guys? I think you should kill her instead." And so they did.
Wow.
I don't know if that's the exact quote, but she was like, "I think that I'm going to be done playing Claudia now." And they said, "Okay."
All right,
I
well,
guess
Claudia to
you
death.
don't like the plans that we have. All right, we'll kill you off then.
Off to the Pine Barrens you go.
All right, there you go, Claudia. It's fun for me, and I would love to have Sarah Joy Brown on just to talk about it, because she seems like just a real a person full of words and conversation, which is a much easier interview than people who are not full of words and conversation.
Yes.
But she's also has she seems to carry with her fond memories and good times and respect for and all that sort of stuff. And it
Yeah.
would just be super fun to chit chat with her about stuff,
He's
especially since for me.
um, some yeah.
Especially since for me, Carly has been played by so many people now that she's Claudia, because there's only been one Claudia.
Yeah, well, yeah, to a certain degree.
Like
Yeah.
I would be
I don't know.
like I'm curious.
She
I
was
don't
a
know.
good she was a good
The
Carly too.
look of Claudia, with just the black hair, like
Oh, I
she
know.
looked so cool.
She did. She looked so cool. She did. She was like I don't know. She was just a badass, wasn't she?
Is that the Michael that Jason went off on back in the day and said he was acting like a bitch? I think so. I think
Yeah,
so.
maybe.
Because it went Dylan Cash into this Drew Garrett or something. I don't know I don't remember his name exactly. I'm saying that without confidence. And then it went into Chad Duell. So if it wasn't Chad Duell and if it wasn't the little kid, then it had to
It
have
was
been this
him.
guy.
There's only been three actors.
three prominent actors. I mean, I'm sure they had a slew of babies.
Oh,
But
sure, slew of babies, exactly. But Dylan Cash played him. He was a little boy, little boy when he started playing Michael.
mm-hmm.
5 or 6, I guess.
Yeah,
He was pretty young.
he was. He was. He
And he
was.
was on the show for a while. Dylan was Michael for a long
For a
time.
long time. He was little kid Michael.
Little kid Michael
He
for a
did
long
the
time.
you know what he did? He did the Emma Scorpio Drake thing.
He did.
There was one Emma until they decided we need an older Emma now.
Yep.
Now we got an older Emma. Now we got an older Michael. And look how that worked out for Michael. So it'll probably work out for Emma too.
It's working out so far for him, and that's for sure. Doing well.
Drew Garrett played that Michael from 2009 to 2010, says Tyrone, and they died laughing when Jason called him a little bitch. They should do it again, GH. Do it again, but this time tell Wiley. Wiley, shut up. You're acting like a little... Wiley's getting old, mama.
Yeah, Wiley got some big old adult teeth in his
He
mouth.
does. He got big old teeth.
Big old adult teeth in his mouth.
Soon
Yeah.
enough, he'll actually sound like not 4. One of these days, he won't sound 4. And I look forward to it. It's like the Violet. Violet was growing out that little way of talking. Oh, Violet.
Oh, let me have. You know what I want Wiley to do? Wiley needs to I don't know, maybe Rachel Black himself a little bit. Be a little bad of a kid, little bit bad.
Sneak
Just a
into the
little bit bad.
Quartermaine tunnels.
Just a little bit bad. And I want to see Wiley roll his eyes at somebody.
He's gotta show a little Nell in him, right?
Exactly.
He's got just a little impatience, a little something in there.
Wouldn't it be funny?
That kid's not pure.
He's playing with Play-Doh or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets real exaggerated with the little tools,
Starts stabbing his toys. Whoa! Whoa. Well, folks, I think this is where I'm going to get back in the elevator for 2 reasons. Number 1, like I explained, it's been a crazy couple of weeks and I'm kind of tired. Number 2, I'm feeling really hungry.
Are you feeling really hungry?
I'm feeling real hungry.
Well, yeah.
I wish that was a segue into an advertisement, but it's not. I'm just hungry.
Avocados from Mexico, because that's what I want right now.
Well, you can't have those right now.
Here's the
They're
commercial.
way too expensive. You can't do that.
I bought them before the tariffs.
Oh, you know what? The tariffs were postponed yet again, except for the one from China. And guess where my work gets most of our crap?
China?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wiley should start acting like the bad seed, says Chandra.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Get one of our spicy Carly cupcakes. The 10th
Spicy
floor
carpet.
cookbook coming your way. Chandra's going to write it for us. I don't know about a spicy cupcake, though. That doesn't sound...
Oh, you know what? If they had the character of Sasha get herself some big old money from a cookbook and actually like put the cookbook out, kind of like they did with Lucy Coe with the story of Port Charles,
And then she could go on Home and Heart, and it's just her thing.
Yes, I'd order that doggone thing. I sure it and be oh have some fictitious, of course, Quartermaine and Scorpio stuff in there.
Can you
Oh,
imagine? Like, they got to put the Thanksgiving pizza recipe in there.
I would love it. I'd buy that stupid book.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure
would.
you would. I'm sure you would. Well, folks, Deidre Hall has a diet book somewhere. I don't have it accessible, but Deidre Hall has one of those, and she's on Days of Our Lives. Go buy it. All right, I'm getting on the elevator. I don't know if you, I don't. You don't have the chat. It's hard for you, but if you want to stick around, you can, and you can just ramble into the microphone.
I don't ramble well alone.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna get the heck out of here. You guys can join me, and we're gonna give it a break until we come back at 1:30 in 1 hour. We're gonna
Yes.
talk about Beyond the Gates.
Beyond the
We're
gates.
gonna get into the Fairmont Crust Country Club.
Yep, we will. Join us. Join us. Join us. Show up at the gate. We'll give you the code.
The Spicy Carly Cupcake is a chocolate cupcake with chocolate frosting that has a dash of cayenne pepper.
No one, and he's just a tiny, tiny, tiny dusting of tahini.
I don't know. You guys sound like you're just trying to ruin a cupcake. The Quartermaine quiche suggests East Coaster, and I'm here for it, folks.
Oh, I would love that.
With
Yeah.
Scorpio spices. Look at that. You should be writing the book then, East Coaster. You write it, you send it to us, we'll sell it, and we'll give you like $1 per book, and then we'll keep the rest. How about that? All right. That's it. Subscribe to the channel if you had a good time. Like the video if you want to. And you should, because it helps us and it's free. So just click it. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding us, Sandra. We're not going to be on next week.
No, we are not going to be on next week.
We're just going to skip it. We're just skipping it. So have fun with Easter.
We're going to have ourselves a big ocean dig right here in my home. Is what I'm going to do.
So that's going to be a super great time. That is it. Twitter, subscribe, go spend some time with your families. I've been Matt.
And I've been Kat.
And we'll see you next week and in an hour right here on the 10th floor.
No,
Goodbye. Not next week, the week after. It's just, it's automatic. It's automatic. It just comes out of my mouth.
It's a script and it just comes out like that.
I know. All right. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.